Sheffield is famous for steel and snooker. It's also featured in movies like The Full Monty and Everyone's Talking About Jamie. But what you might not know about Sheffield is that 1/3 of the city actually lies within the Peak District National Park, and as such is now being marketed as the outdoor city. Well, that's all well and good when the sun's shining, but what about the rainy days? Well, since 2018, people looking for indoor entertainment can visit the National Videogame Museum.
So I thought I'd put together this video to help you plan your visit, know what to expect when you get there, and also offer my humble opinion on whether or not I think it's worth a visit in the first place. Sound fair? Let's do this.
The museum is situated in the Castlegate quarter of Sheffield city centre, where phase 2 of the Greater Green Urban Regeneration project is making progress. It's just up the road from Kommune, a popular food hall with independent eateries, and somewhere I'd heartily recommend for food. Kommune is family friendly and there's plenty of space for kids to run around. You'll also be supporting local businesses. Before too long, the area should look and feel a bit more like this, but when I visited, it was definitely a work in progress, which wasn't the most welcoming start. But hey, it was clear to see that work was already underway to transform this area. Public transport links are good, with plenty of bus stops nearby and Castle Square Supertram stop only 5 minutes walk away. The nearest car park is Hartshead Square, which again takes only 5 minutes on foot. Once inside the museum, this cleverly designed entrance builds a sense of anticipation and excitement. But before you get there, here's a few things you should know to help you plan your visit. During Sheffield school holidays, the museum is open every day from 10 AM to 7 PM, and in term time is accessible 5 days out of 7. The museum encourage visitors to book ahead to avoid disappointment, but it's not essential. Tickets are £11 for adults, £9 for children, and the same for concessions. Under 5s can go for free. The gift shop is one of the first things you see, and there are some pretty cool things in there. You'll find a list of that session's activities on a display board as you enter.
First impressions, this is a pretty cool place.
I could have spent the whole time playing on the arcade cabinets. There's something about the original artwork, sound, and feel of the machines. Playing on an emulator at home doesn't give quite the same buzz. Also, strange as it sounds, the fact that you did have to wait your turn made it all the more special when you did get a go. I'd compare this to going to the cinema as opposed to watching Netflix at home. And there was so much more to play on. There were oodles of consoles from years gone by. They were grouped into sections by theme or game series. But there were also some quirky installations. I particularly enjoyed this 4-player Pac-Man, where each player had to take a direction up, down, left or right and work together to play the game. I also enjoyed seeing the huge amount of historical hardware on display, much of which I'd completely forgotten about until my visit. And this underscored why the museum is important, preserving and documenting our digital history for the next generation. Finally, as you might expect, there's a significant educational component to the museum's remit, and this is something I'd really like to explore in a future visit. I think it's great that the museum is giving people the skills to make games as well as just play them.
I hope you enjoyed that video, and I would 100% recommend this museum to anybody who's interested in the history of gaming, whether that's because you were there at the time and you want to relive it, or maybe you're younger than that and you just want to see a bit of the history. But this is definitely a good day out. I think that due to the nature of video games, it would be very easy for 2.5, 3 hours to go by without you seeing the whole museum, just because you can kind of get focused in on one or two games very easily. So I would say this definitely warrants at least one visit, maybe another one, and I think this might become a family favourite of ours. My kids certainly really enjoyed it. I think when you think about it, the value is pretty good, considering that obviously you don't have to pay to go on the machines. You just pay your entry and you go on as many machines as you can do within the time. I think maybe the one slight element of it that I wasn't sure of, and maybe there was an etiquette I didn't know about, was that people seem to be able to stay on the machine for as long as they wanted, and I wasn't sure how that could be really marshalled, because back in the day, if you were on a machine, the length of the time that you spent on there would be dictated by the amount of cash you were willing to spend. And because that wasn't in place and you didn't have to worry about pumping in 50p's and pound coins into the machine, I think there was a lot of people that potentially I would say were hogging the machines a little bit. But generally speaking, I think it was great, and the museum is a charity. It has faced closure. I think it needs our support, and I think it actually is a really important piece of cultural heritage that we do need to support. So get yourself there. Hope you enjoy it. Whether you go there alone, you go with a family, or you go there with a partner, this was a really fun day out, and I hope you enjoyed.